Blessings, everyone. This is Liane with the Raise Your Vibration Summit. And today I have a special guest, Maria Martinez. And today I'm so happy to have this conversation with Maria because we are going to first and foremost talk about why we want to raise our frequency. And it's not just, yes, we've spoken about, yes, we can turn off epigenetic codes and we can start to raise our vibration to live a higher vibing life, but there's so much more beyond that. So I want to tap into dormant DNA. So this is just all of our potential that is just sitting there dormant in our DNA, which is connected to our lineage. And as you raise in frequency, these dormant codes start to turn on like little light switches. And then the blessings and gifts come in. And then you get to truly start to experience what it is to be this superhuman, because yes, they exist. And you're looking at two of them right now, two real life superhuman with human people with superpowered potential. And I have the honor of introducing you all to Maria. And I would like for her to, Maria, if you don't mind introducing yourself and sharing a little bit about what that means for you and how you started to play with these gifts.
Yeah, thank you. And it's a pleasure to be here with all of you. Raising the vibration is really the key to our ascension and living a fulfilled life, and allowing us to step into our potential and allowing us to create from a different place of awareness, different place of responsibility with greater focus and clarity and ease. So this is really exciting. So a little bit about me. I was born with my gifts. I do come from a lineage of gifted individuals, shaman, and I started my journey very early on. I was just fortunate that I didn't forget when I was born. And I have early recollection about 5 years old, working with my guides and my angels coming in at different times, both in the astral plane and the dream state and in the physical world. So to me, walking in both worlds or multi-dimensions was very natural and normal to me. My early work was really about activating the spirit, awakening the spirit. So when we have a trauma or when we have some kind of emotional shock, sometimes our spirit is moved or shifted or pushed out of our body. And if we don't have a good relationship, it stays asleep. So the early work that I was doing was to reconnect the spirit and help it embody the individual so that person could be more present, more fulfilled, and tap into more of their potential. And that was my early journey. And it evolved since then. Remember early college years, the emotional shock was moving from a small town to a very big city, beautiful city, Santa Barbara. And then all my gifts, it's like they went from 20% to 100% or 110%. Because every day, at any time of day, I was in different dimensions. Different dimensions were open around me, different beings were around me. And it became a little bit chaotic since I was a college student. So I came back and I had a conversation with my mom and I said, this is who I am, and I realized that it's not changing, it's not going away. So I need to figure out a way to master it, to call it when I need it, or to be in that space when I need it. So that's the first time where it was the beginning of my development in training with a teacher. We had a family friend who was a shaman, and I remember my initiations very early on, between the ages of 8 and 9. Because she recognized my gifts and she realized you need some protection, you need to have some way of setting some boundaries. So that was my early initiation with her. And then that was the mentorship where we showed me how to hone my skills, how to connect to source and the divine, and how to understand who I am or who I came to be in this world to serve humanity at a higher level. And since then, I've acquired more training, more experiences. My angels and my guides and now higher beings of light continue to work with me to help me access more of my DNA, more of my potential. And it's been a very powerful journey. Just been very beautiful journey. It's been honoring, it's been humbling, it's been expansive, it's been filled with love. And in the process, I've healed a lot of myself as well. We all come here with our own story, our own stuff to work through. And I feel a lot of parts of myself coming back to I am enough. I love myself for who I am. And I am more than the mind and this body, and more than the emotions. I'm a beautiful being of light that is here having a human experience, and I'm embodying them.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. You truly do embody all the gifts of a chosen one, or I see us as Avengers in a way. Particularly the part where you're talking about honoring the gifts, knowing that there's something more, keep exploring, working with the guides on the other side, understanding that the veil is very thin, and then honoring the teachers that are there to help you shift and using those gifts for the greater good of everyone. So those are really, really important qualities to embody. And you tapped into a little bit about how energy works, and I think it's really important that we look at that. Myself, one of my, it's a crazy gift. I'm going to share it. I'm going to share it with the world. I'm what you call walking karma, if you will. So, and it was just shared to me. I've been playing with it for a few years now and just understanding the ins and outs and learning how to master it. And it was, my guides have been showing me how to do that. But in order to get to that place, I really needed to raise my frequency to a certain level. But I noticed that every time I get it really, really high, and then it would drop again, and then I'd regenerate my energy, and then it would drop again. It was going over and over. But I recognize now that challenge was my gift also, because I was able to regenerate, heal myself at such a rapid rate. But I was always an expression. I was always pushing this energy out. And I was saying, where the hell is the good karma? It seems like there's only bad karma here. And then I discovered what was happening. So I want to play in this with you, tap into what you feel are the ins and outs, and maybe talk a little bit about what I discovered, which is essentially energy harvesting. And if anybody who doesn't know what that is, go watch the new Trolls movie, because it explains it beautifully. I don't know if you've seen it, Maria, but it definitely does depict how it works, and then how. Yeah, I'm going to let you take over. You're the master, so share a little bit of your expertise with this.
Well, I haven't watched the movie, but I'll share from my experience. So it's interesting about energy, and I teach a class called Energy Alchemy, and we have our own energy, we have our own vitality, and then we have source energy that we can access, along with other types of energy like scalar energy. And I think what I believe is that we're here to, we are energy already, but we're here to understand that everything out there is everything that we are, that we're not separate. Like the universe is within us, we're the particles of the universe. Source, we're the particles of source. So when it comes to energy, energy is light and frequency, and it's in a pure form. And when we move out of our alignment, or when we move out of the state of awareness or authority or responsibility, then we're using our own vitality, which is limited, our own energy source that is limited. Then we can step back into alignment. Now we have this endless flow. We have our own energy, but we have this endless flow of light that is flowing through us that doesn't diminish. So as an example, if you got in front of a large group of people and we did say a power 7-day retreat, and we were using source energy, we walked out of there refreshed. We walked out of there as if we just walked in and we just got up in the morning. So in terms of the way I teach my clients to choose energy, is first to tap into your own energy, see where you are, and notice what's in the way of you actually holding the highest frequency of your own energy, because a lot of that has to do with your belief system, your emotions, and the karma that you're working through. And then be with that, with your energy, and then you begin to amplify that as you begin to align with the divine within you, which is remembering that you are divine perfection, remembering that your source energy. And that amplification may happen from within, or maybe happen as you pull in source energy into your field. It's like, so I'm getting this picture. when you decide to become one with all that is available to you. It's your light, and then it feels like from within there's an amplification, but there's also an amplification from around, which is everything that you are in source coming in. And as the expression of energy, the more we focus on being the highest version of ourselves, the brighter that energy, the easier that energy flows, the less gets attached in our energy field, the less we take on from the environment and from the people around us. But also, the more we align and embody and recognize that there's source within us and also source all around us, that we become sort of this big, beautiful lantern, like like the lighthouse. It can shine in the darkness. It can shine in deep fog. And we become that light for everybody around us. So in a way, we're anchoring that frequency into the space that we're in. And we're inviting other people to come and step into that with us. And as they step into us, they're gradually beginning to see themselves as light, see themselves as possibility, see themselves as source universe, see themselves as the expression of who they're meant to be here in the world, and then begin to shed all of the density that in the story that they have been playing out. So they start moving out of the illusion, out of the programming, and into the light, into pure consciousness, pure possibility, and pure potentiality. So I hope that answers your question.
Oh my, you worded it so beautifully. That's exactly it. And that's why it's so important to stand in your light, and so that you can be that reflection, because everyone is part. So I really love how you also bridged it into what we call as our home frequency or essence, and then into the lighthouse example. That truly well said. And let's bridge that into how you have two children, or three children, sorry. I have two little girls, and I truly believe that these children are just so quick. They attune to all this knowledge, this ancient sacred knowledge, so quickly, and how important it is and how exciting it is for us as conscious beings to start to share these teachings with our children, so that they can learn to explore who they are as source, which is part of a whole, and also to embrace their differences, because we're all part of one, but yet we all have our own unique gifts. And it's time that we start to teach that it's good to be different and to celebrate our differences, and how important it is. You tapped into it earlier about the responsibility, because with power comes responsibility, and it's important to live a life of integrity and honor that. So I'd like for you, as another mother, to please share some of your tips on conscious parenting.
Yeah, I hear this often about, oh, your kids are so lucky because they have you as a parent, or I wish my parent would have been like you. So a couple of things about that. When we choose our family, we choose our parents, we choose our siblings, because they're the perfect circle of family and connection to help us ascend, to help us evolve, to help us work through whatever lessons, learnings, karma we decided to come into this incarnation to evolve. And part of that evolution could be simply the awakening, right, of who we are. Awakening of everything else is an illusion, and I'm completing it right now, and I'm stepping into the highest being that I can be, and holding that vibration as I move forward. And I've had these conversations with my kids about them choosing me, and me being honored to have them in my life, or to be part of the life. Because sometimes parents, we think we know everything, but we really don't, right? We're learning to be parents, because they're teaching us. They're teaching us patience. They're teaching us compassion. They're teaching us love. And especially if we didn't experience love growing up and we don't know how to express it to us, they teach us, because when they're babies, they're unconditional. They give us so much love. And in this process, we are learning from them, and they're learning from us. We're learning to evolve as better people, better individuals, better parents. And then they are also teaching us what they need in terms of the support system, so that they can fulfill their mission. They can fulfill their expression and fullest expression of themselves. And when I have these conversations with my kids, I remind them, you're here to do something really amazing. Even if we at this moment don't know exactly what it is, I have a vision of you, and I'll just share a little bit with them about what that looks like. I said, you're here to be a leader, a compassionate being. You're here to be a way shower. You're here to stand out in the world with ease and grace, and to be your full expression and create that sense of, yes, I can be my individuation of myself as an individual of source and universe, and still be one with it all. I can express myself as I am, and I can stand out in the world, but I can also be part of the world, be here in the world and contribute at a very high level. And it's funny enough that I had that conversation earlier. So I have these conversations often with them, especially when I see them that they're kind of getting into the density of the 3D. We come back to, why are we here? Why did you choose to be here? And they understand that question because we've been having this conversation for a while. I chose to be here not to live my day to day and get caught in the day to day, but to evolve and to know myself and to know my gifts and learn about my gifts and unlock my gifts and unlock my genius, so that I can contribute, so that I can bring new technology, so that I can be innovative and bring innovation to the world, so that I can change the world, so that I can awaken humanity. So those are the conversations that I have with my children. I think that is important to have with our children, because especially now, most, if not all, of the children that I encounter are gifted. No matter how they're expressing themselves, they have a gift, they have a brilliance, they have light that is just waiting to be seen and waiting to be unlocked. And sometimes as parents, we get so caught up in the doingness, or caught up in the survival, caught up in the work, caught up in providing, that we overlook that. But they all have it. They all have it within them. And I believe that this is the time to really, for the parents to step back and look at, how can it be that space for my children? How can it be that space of expression for my children, so that they can feel safe, first of all, so that they can feel confident in themselves, have the belief in themselves, so that they can choose the path of happiness and joy, so they can choose every day to be happy and to have joy in their life and fully express themselves, so that they can know that they have potential that is gradually being unlocked and waiting to express itself in the world as magnificence and brilliance and radiance. I said, it's important for us as parents to just take a step back and observe our children and see how we can be, how can we step in and to be a better parent, or a parent that can detach from our stuff and then hold the space in pure compassion and loving kindness and unconditional love, so that our children can really be creator beings in the moment of now versus later in the moment of now, and fully express themselves now versus later.
I love that. Thank you for sharing. And of course, the now is really the only moment that counts. And it's interesting that you said that, because just the other day I was having a discussion with my youngest, and she had mentioned, she was comparing. It's a very normal process to do. And I just gently reminded her, the only person that you should be comparing yourself to is your former self, because it's the only one that matters, because there's no sense in wanting to be like somebody else. Why would you want to adopt the energies of somebody else or clone somebody else? Those are their gifts. Let them have their gifts, and you stand in your power. That's the important message here. And it's a beautiful message to stand in your authenticity and to rise within that. Because if you're adopting somebody else's identity or energy, it's not part of your destiny or divine blueprint, and you can't rise from there. It's just not how the universe has mapped it out. So thank you very much for sharing that. And if you don't mind just tapping into one more thing, because with your shamanic roots, I know you will be able to channel through some beautiful information for us to take a step back and look at, and that's just looking at the planet, because we really truly do take this planet for granted. Some of us in the shamanic world refer to Mother Earth or Gaia, Terra, because Earth does hold consciousness as well. Earth is an energy, and Mother Earth, if you will, is ascending or raising in frequency also. And what that means for Earth, and how all these natural disasters is like the unraveling of that karma, if you will, and all those old storylines that are just unraveling and starting to shift into a higher vibration. So I'm going to hand it over to you and let you reflect on that. Give us your beautiful interpretation or reflection from that.
Yeah, so the first message is coming through, and we talked a little bit about this earlier. Everything is in the now, right? We are in the now. So we talk about our journey, and the same thing for Mother Earth, going on the journey. And when we say the journey, that becomes part of the story, it becomes part of the illusion. So we want to remember that we are now. We are the highest frequency now. And that's what we really want to embody, the highest frequency now. And that's the same for Mother Earth. Everything is in the now. She's already in the highest frequency. And the illusion is what's being recalibrated on her. Because we're creators. You and I are creating in this moment. We're contributing to Mother Earth. We're contributing to the field. And everyone on Earth has contributed to everything you just described, the natural disasters, just the shifts in the world. We're contributing from fear, doubt, scarcity, from not knowing, from being asleep. And there are so many more of us that are awake, that are anchoring the knowing into now and moving into the now versus the future when that comes. And Mother Earth is the same. She is in the now. So everything that we are and everything that's divine perfection is in the now. And we're moving through the letting go. We're moving through the frequency of what was and allowing us to move into, I am the embodiment of my pure potentiality. And as I'm speaking, I can see also Mother Earth say, like sort of a green, and I can see the light and the radiance of Earth already in the space of I am divinely perfect now. So if we all start feeling and thinking about the awakening and moving into our own awakening, moving into our own mastery, moving into responsibility, moving into creation, moving into we are the masters of our destiny, then what we perceive as this timeline of getting actually moves into alignment. So it's like the illusion and the truth move into the same alignment. And then here we are in the moment of now. And so what's also coming through, and this is more of advice, right? Advice of observative practice. When you think about where you're going, instead of thinking of where am I going, think about where I am. I am now. And then envision what is that thing that in the future you're trying to get to, and be in that place now. Whether it's peace, whether it's success, whether it's prosperity, whether it's a healthy body, whether it's a loving relationship, be in that in the now. So now we're collapsing time zones that we're doing that. We're breaking down the illusion of having to get there, the condition of having to get there, the programming that takes a while to get there. So now we're in the now. And again, we're shifting into the now also with Mother Earth. So also the illusion around her breaks down. And then we move into life is beautiful. Life is perfect. Life is amazing. We are creating, and we're creating more of what we truly desire in this moment of now.
Beautifully channeled. I love it. And it is so true, because when you do center yourself, I've noticed myself, and it is the one thing that we can control, is get to know your energy, get to know your home frequency, start to play within that in the now moment. And if you can raise it and explore what that is outside in nature. And because going for a walk in a lower vibration is very different than going for a walk in a higher vibration. The colors become more vibrant. The sounds are more clear and crisp. The smells are more, all your senses are heightened. And it truly does change that human experience in the now. So thank you for channeling that beautiful message and for sharing all your gifts. Do you have any final messages that you would like to
And
share to motivate the world?
well,
Because
there is one thing that is coming up, and this is in connection to what we're talking about, Mother Earth. So this is about the embodiment of source energy, our pure intelligence, and also the embodiment of where we are in this moment of now with Mother Earth. And just to move the energy from Mother Earth up through our feet, all the way up to our heart space, and then cycle it back down. And the same thing with source, divine pure intelligence, moving through all the way to the root and then back out. And then the cycling in energy helps our divine essence also expand and amplify into the light. So it feels like communion. It feels like connection. It feels like divine partnership when we're in that space. So I encourage you to acquire or set up a practice that allows you to connect to the divine being within you, the divine intelligence within you first, and then running source energy, connecting to Mother Earth and the divine, and then being in the space of divine partnership, because in that divine partnership, also you realize you're not alone. So this is the motivation that is coming in, right? If you knew you couldn't fail, what would you do, right? You're in divine partnership, Mother, Source, Universe, all supporting you on your divine path. If you knew you couldn't fail, what would you be doing now? What steps would you take forward? What integrity, level of integrity would you embrace? What power of manifestation would you step into? What actions would you take in every area of your life? So if you knew you couldn't fail, again, we're moving out the illusion and the fear and the doubt, and we're moving into this clear path forward. And we have the end goal there, which is actually moving toward you, because we realize everything is the moment of now. Take action. Beautiful.
take action. I love it, Maria. Thank you so, so very much for sharing all this beautiful knowledge with us. Ask those questions. I invite you to ask those questions. Those are great questions to ask. Get to know your home frequency. If you are looking for a guide or a mentor, ask the intelligence within you, and that teacher will come. And never underestimate truly how powerful you are when you tap into the source that you are, which is whole and complete, pure essence of love and 963 scalar. So thank you again. I honor you, Maria, and thank you everyone for listening in to this interview. And if you'd like to meet with Maria, do you want to tell us a little bit about your business, Maria?
Yes, I specialize in human potential activation, wealth consciousness activation, and business coaching. My website is 360 Prosperity, and I do one-on-one sessions as well as group coaching. And I love to work people who are ready, like they're ready to take action, they're ready to go bigger, they're ready, and I mean ready in any area of their life. So they're ready to fully embody who they are. They're ready to create a bigger version of themselves to serve at a bigger level. If they're ready to change everything about how they've been showing up in the world to amplify their gifts and their talents, and also their contribution to the world. So focus, high performance individuals who are just ready to create a deep impact in the world.
I love it. And I'm ready to work with you one day. And we're going to work on maybe a little program that we can do to help other parents who want to explore how they can share this wisdom with their children and guide them into their highest potential.
Beautiful. I'm all in.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you everybody for your time. And I wish you a very high vibing rest of your day.